This episode is brought to you in part by our friends at Visit Lexington NC. To learn more about Lexington, go to visitlexingtonnc.com or click the link in our show notes.
This is the North Carolina Food and Beverage Podcast. Thank you for listening, subscribing, and hitting subscribe on your friend's phone without them knowing. Coming to you from the Kitchen Studios in downtown Raleigh. This episode is sponsored in part by Blue Shark Vodka. All the taste without the bite. Blue Shark Vodka coming out of Wilmington, North Carolina. And Gogh Coffee, serving the community from seed to cup, taking particular care at every step to honor the bean. And now, splitting the check 6 ways, it's Max Trujillo and Matthew Weiss.
Hello, and thank you for listening to the North Carolina Food and Beverage Podcast. I am your co-host, Max Trujillo.
And I am your co-host, Matthew Weiss. And today we come from downtown Lexington, North Carolina, and we are at the Red Doughnut Shop with the owners and founders of the Red Doughnut Shop, Saro and his brother, David Vey. Welcome, gentlemen.
No,
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us.
Welcome to Lexington.
Yeah, this is cool. I don't know, Matt. I don't think we've ever done a donut episode.
No.
This is new for us.
Crazy.
Although I've consumed many donuts in the almost 5 years we've been doing this podcast, but yeah, it's time to make the donuts, as they used to say.
Right.
Do you guys remember that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Old commercial.
The Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Really, I do remember it. I've been working a lot of hours lately, and that was me this past 2 weeks.
You gotta
go make the
up
donuts.
early to make the donuts.
Gotta
Yeah.
go make the donuts.
With that said, so it's always known that the donut maker is up really early. How early do you start your day?
About 2:30 a.m.
2:30 a.m. is when you start your day?
Well, when we first wake up about 2:30. Once we get warmed up, about 3 o'clock. 3 a.m. is when we really get started.
You really start
the mixing
working.
gets going, you know.
Wow.
Yep.
And then when do you shut down?
We shut down at 7 p.m., but I'm still prepping through the day. That don't mean I'm not here. So I'll go home about 7 or 8 o'clock, and I prep here and get ready so you can bake at 3 o'clock. If you don't prep, you better be in here about 12, 11 o'clock.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
you can say for sure donut is life for us right now.
That's a big commitment. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how long have you had this shop for?
We're
Well-
going on 5 years now.
5 years for the business, but this shop is 2.5 years. We were on the side street, right beside Shoto's and the candy store.
Okay.
So yeah,
And
Oh,
we
so
kind of
you-
outgrew that little small space, but
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. So I'm always intrigued by, you guys are of Cambodian descent.
Correct.
So how does one leave Southeast Asia and end up in Lexington, North Carolina?
That's a great
Like, were you
question.
looking for bourbon and you thought, oh, let's go to Lexington, and then you ended up in North Carolina?
the
by
wrong
accident?
Lexington, yeah.
well, this thing called the Vietnam War.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so,
Heard of that.
So that whole chain reaction in Southeast Asia brought us here.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Got you. But you were via California, right?
Well, that's where we learned to do donuts. Like with my family, they came here through like sponsorship, like through the refugee camps. So my mother came to like Philadelphia. My dad, I think, was it Philadelphia too, something like that. But they weren't even married yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did they know each other, or they met in the States?
They met in the States.
Oh, wow.
And they was married traditionally, so it was more of an arranged marriage.
Yeah.
And kind of the dominant way during that era.
Wait a
So-
second. So they both were refugees from Cambodia.
Correct.
Didn't know each other, but somehow their families knew each other?
Yep.
Not from Seattle
No,
and
not even-
Philadelphia?
they
So
didn't
how
know,
did it
they
get
were just
arranged?
They were just my dad. My dad's first spot was Iowa. She landed in Philadelphia. My dad landed in Iowa. And my dad was in Iowa. My dad was like, well, this is like too country for me. He said, he wasn't married. He was a young guy. He couldn't, there wasn't any other Asian girls around. He said, I got to get out of here. So he went to Philadelphia, where all the big Cambodian community was.
Yep.
And from there, they met.
They
So,
met.
yeah.
Yeah, you're like looking for your clan,
your people.
I
Right.
guess,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
found your group there,
Yep.
and then that's where the two families were like, well, I've got a daughter, you've got a son. There we go. Let's join forces.
Yep.
But it was during their prime years. Like my mom was 19.
Okay.
And my dad was
20.
20 something. But during those years, they were like prisoners of wars for I don't know how long. So, they were going through bad times. And then when they got here, they're lonely. They were separated from the people. You know, it's just
brand
human
new
need,
world. A brand
human
new
nature.
world.
You want to find somebody.
Sure.
Find your people, and then.
Okay, so how does the story then evolve to get to California and then get to Lexington?
Well, they got married in Philadelphia,
Okay.
and they couldn't find jobs. So the whole family, some of their friends and stuff, they say, "Hey, we're in Seattle. There's more jobs in Seattle." So they moved out to Seattle
Okay.
and lived there for a little bit. Then created me.
Now, how did that happen?
I don't want to go into details about that.
Let's don't tell that part.
I don't ask that story, but yeah. So they got married, had me in Seattle, and then they was working out there. My dad worked in the restaurants, and my aunt came here because they were separated. Like I said, because the church brought my aunt. They sponsored them through Lexington. The first Cambodian ever in Lexington was my aunt. It was one Cambodian.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now there's so many.
Yeah,
I think
think
300,
3 now.
200 families, something like that, maybe.
Oh, really? There's
Yeah.
200 Cambodian families in Lexington?
Yeah. So I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe the numbers are off right. Am I right?
Probably maybe a little bit more. It's around, I would say, a lot more.
But let's just say a lot compared to.
But if
how
you
it's
want
like.
to talk about original Cambodians that immigrated here, yes, about 200 families.
Wow.
That's kind of a lot.
Yes.
That you wouldn't expect, I guess.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But from my aunt coming here and us coming here, just my family, and then word of mouth.
Well, during this time, Lexington was booming during the furniture market, right?
Right.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
furniture era, so it was easy to find jobs here. So my aunt called my mom, and they all spoke together, and then boom, they moved here.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then I was created.
Yeah. All right. So you are a true Lexington native.
Yes, I am.
Lexington, born like Lexington, you can't get birth here no more, so it's rare.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
one of the last born.
Yeah.
They're not allowing any.
No, they're just for this hospital. They're not. Am I right?
That's right.
So there's not. You can't be born here in Lexington no more. So
Yeah.
Our
Yeah,
hospital
that's all.
does not deliver babies.
Right.
What
Is that
hospital?
a real thing?
That is a real
That is a
thing.
real
So what
thing.
hospital do you go to?
Winston-Salem or
Winston-
Thomasville.
Yep.
Oh wow.
So you
Yes.
can't be born in
So-
Lexington anymore.
So you can't go into labor and be ready to wait until you get close.
Yeah, you gotta plan
You gotta
out.
go.
Right. Right.
actually, you can't be born in Lexington. You got to do it yourself, though.
You just get
yourself.
DIY.
Yeah. Okay, so let's bring the story back to donuts. So,
Okay, go ahead.
so how did you learn this style of making donuts, and what is the style and why donuts?
Okay, well, here's the story. Like I said, my dad moved here to Lexington. Business is booming. My dad made some good money. He's like, you know what? Let's go after the American dream. He said, he called his family. He said, let's move to California and start a donut shop because Cambodians, they all got into the donut shop.
Is there any reason?
Yeah,
or-
well,
There's a documentary out called The Donut King.
The
And-
Donut King?
The Donut King.
Okay.
And
I'm
it's-
aware of that.
so,
Oh, and Five Rotten Tomatoes.
yeah, Five Rotten Tomatoes tells the whole story about how this evolved.
How Cambodians got involved into the donut business.
Okay.
So
You should watch it.
yeah, definitely,
Donut
it's a
King,
great,
okay.
great documentary, by the way.
Yeah. So, basically it was a guy.
Are you guys in that, or
Yeah, Fox 8 did one for us, which we did together with that, kind of added to it. So
But we don't have no direct connection to him per se, but of course, what
you're
he
off
did.
the same
Yeah,
tree?
we're
off the
all
street,
from the same
we're a
brand.
branch off the street. That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yes.
Okay.
So he started work. He was a Cambodian guy. He started working in Windshield, and he was getting so good. They showed him so much. Then he started his own thing and then branched off. So basically, that's
They
what
showed
it
him
came
too much.
from.
They're like, we just
Yeah.
gave him all
That's
the
in the
keys to
video.
castle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
In the video, that's what they said. So you'll see that.
Okay, so-
they were in the video too with him telling the story.
So essentially, Winchell's spurned this Cambodian
Yes.
donut world.
Yes.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Cool. So define your style of donuts, or what is the differentiating factor here?
Here, we just call it California style. Like out here, this is East Coast. This is our backyard. It's Krispy
Well-
Kreme's home court.
Yeah,
Right,
but
yeah.
but we kind of developed an identity of our own because we actually had some family members, live out in California. They eat donuts regularly. They come try ours. It was like, you know what? Can I take a box back because y'all's are not the same as California. So
Yeah.
I think we kind of develop our own little identity, but
So it's like a hybrid.
Yeah.
yes, but we got a little. It's California style, but with a Lexington flavor.
But
So-
I trained in Texas, I trained in Iowa, I trained in Arkansas, and I trained in California. So I just put all that together, create something different, our own style here.
Well,
So-
let me at least say, like, I'm in the middle. I'm not even in the middle. I'm more than halfway done with my apple fritter, which just came out of the fryer. Is that right?
That's right.
I know nothing about donuts, and I don't pretend like I know anything except for the flavors and all the ones that I've had. But Walk me through a little bit of the process. We fry these donuts, but what is the dough? How are you making this stuff?
Okay.
I don't know how much secrets you want to give
No.
away.
The whole process is everybody. I can give you the same ingredients, but everybody's gonna develop something a little different. You know, everybody.
Yeah, you're like, good luck with all of this.
Yeah,
You're
here
going to
you
do
go,
it the way
you
we
know.
do it.
But the technique really is all about the yeast. Okay, as soon as that yeast is activated in the dough, that's when the timer starts. And with dough and within the bakery scene, science is key. So it's all about timing, timing, and just love. You know, if you love when you do something that you like to do, you always produce good results. So,
And I want to add, not say quality ingredients. If you do quality ingredients, put love to it, you always put out a good product.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
So
here's the technical side of it. So what starts off, we put our mix in the mixer. We add our ingredients, the softeners, eggs, milk. Throw in the yeast. We'll mix it 15 minutes. Let the dough rise. Once it rises for 15 minutes, put it on the table. Knead it a little bit more. Let it express for 15 more minutes. And then once it doubles in size, roll out, cut each individual donut by hand. Throw it into the proofer for another 30 minutes to let it rise a little bit more so it produces those air pockets, like that airy feel in the donuts.
Yeah.
And once that's done, boom, it hits the fire. 1 to 2 minutes, flip, glaze, done.
But the fritters, you got to tell them that's from leftover dough. It's not the first process.
Yeah.
So fritters are always the last thing because it's leftover dough. So
Like it just didn't rise or didn't get
No,
any
it's just what's left after the cut. So
After the
we
cuts,
can't
it's the little pieces in
it's
between.
The little extras.
like the first cut is the softest. The second cut, then the more cuts you do and the more rolls, it gets tougher. So that says it's actually the last
And-
roll
Okay.
of dough.
You said one thing there though that doesn't ring a bell for me, and maybe this is my naivety, but the proofer.
Right.
What do you mean you put it in the proofer?
Well, a proofer is like a humidifier.
Okay.
Okay, it's like a commercial humidifier. And with any type of dough, whether it's bread, any type of yeast dough, it's going to rise. What yeast does is it produces that air pocket and helps the dough rise.
The morsel with the morsel.
But with the proofer, the proofer, it helps speed that process up. You can
Okay.
leave it outside on hot
Room
day, let it
temperature,
proof by room temperature, but
Yeah.
in
But
the
that'll take a
commercial-
while.
Yeah, that'll take a while, but
And it's time to make the donuts. You got to get this thing done. You've been at it since 3 in the morning.
Yeah, if
so-
you-
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
and
gonna
then
get out and make the money.
also the hard part with being in the South is it feels like a proofer in
You're already
everywhere,
in
right?
humidity.
Yeah.
So when you make those, like, it's always different throughout the seasons. In the cold times, the yeast takes more time to rise. And
Sure.
You have to give it more time to rise. But in the summertime, you gotta speed it up. So what took 30 minutes might take 18 minutes now. So
Yeah, you back off the yeast on the summer or the winter time. That's where you determine how much yeast you use too.
This episode is sponsored in part by Blue Shark Vodka. All the taste without the bite. Blue Shark Vodka, coming out of Wilmington, North Carolina.
That Blue Shark Vodka. Boom. We're proud to have them as our new title sponsor, and they're made with non-GMO, heirloom variety North Carolina sweet corn, distilled 4 times into perfection. They do triple filtration, which makes the vodka extremely smooth, clean finish, and it makes that alcohol bite nearly vanish.
Yeah, they're Blue Shark Vodka, the shark that doesn't bite.
Check out Blue Shark Vodka at bluesharkvodka.com.
And Joe Van Gogh Coffee, serving the community from seed to cup, taking particular care at every step to honor the bean.
This is Joe Van Gogh's Organic Mexican Grapos Reserve, which is really delicious. The Grapos Co-op was created in 2007 and made a tremendous impact for the small traditional farmers by creating avenues and resources to get their harvest not only in the market but certified, which allowed them to be competitive in the marketplace, in international marketplaces. And it has gone from the initial producers of 90 to well over 2,700 members. What we're going to drink here has flavor notes of graham cracker, apricot, and tamarind, which sounds so awesome. Kind of high altitude coffee coming in around 1,600 to 1,800 feet above sea level. The varieties, cultivars, are bourbon, typica, and maracea.
This is luxurious living.
So go to joevangoghcoffee.com. Check out their locations. They have them in Hillsborough, Durham, Raleigh, in the neighboring areas as well. You can find out more information about them at joevangough.com.
So your varieties here are beautiful. There's so many different flavors and things going on, but there's something specific that you're doing that I haven't seen at a donut shop. which is you fill it to order. You put the flavor fillings in these donuts to order, which is, I don't know, Matt, have you ever seen that?
No, that's pretty awesome.
I'm looking back on the back wall and I see vanilla, strawberry, lemon, and custard, and raspberry and chocolate in big hoppers, like big containers.
Right.
And then you just essentially have empty donuts, so to speak, like bars or what would be
Bismarck.
jelly filled, but they're empty.
Right.
Is there a way like you purposefully make that so that there is a pocket inside?
Nope.
It's just you just smoosh it in.
It's
there.
just force it in
But
there.
while, of course, with the dough, when it rises, like I said, it
Forms
produces
an
air
air pocket.
pockets. So
Yeah.
it's not as dense. So, of course, the jelly will just sit right in there nice and firm.
Yeah, so we're looking at kind of unfilled donuts, but they look delicious, and then you just say, I want this one, I want chocolate in this one, or vanilla in this one, or lemon or so. That where did you get the idea to do that and to order?
We got
have space.
we had a 500 square feet building, and I was sitting there. I was like, we didn't have much money to start, so I was looking at other donut shops. I said, man, we don't have the luxury to do it like that. I
Do
said,
it in the background.
we're gonna do it in the front. I said, you know what? I said that's a good thing. We let people pick their own fare. I said that people can be happy because
Yeah.
they get to participate.
So you
Yeah.
didn't have space to just pre-fill a whole bunch out because you didn't have the
Nope,
the
didn't have
the,
the
the,
space for
the
it.
cupboard
And-
space or the case space.
Nope. And plus, also, we had to understand what our market was demanding at the time. So we didn't want to fill donuts and nobody wanted it and had
Yeah.
to discard it. So
Yeah.
for one, it was better. It was a good idea from a financial standpoint, and it was a good idea for the customer standpoint too, because they can get to participate. and
Experience,
see
interaction.
This is the great example of necessity is the mother of all invention.
Right,
So
yeah, right.
you didn't have the space, so you
didn't have
figured out
space.
how to get the filling in the donuts
Yep.
with maximizing
Exactly.
your space.
And now other donut shops are doing it too. I'm seeing,
Yeah.
we're starting to see it catch on. People they feel.
Well, it makes sense.
you know.
It's like you're not. Well, I mean, also, yeah, economically, you're not wasting. I imagine the filling. That's money going
Yes,
out the door
yep.
if you're not.
At the end of the night, that's what I thought about. I said, at the end of the night, I said, we just started. We don't have that much money, so I don't want to be throwing jelly out. So we're gonna fill as you go.
Well, as a fat kid who loved jelly donuts, but sometimes I wanted my custard filling. Now I could have both. This is brilliant.
Yes.
I mean, like,
Yeah, do you do the double? Can you get both flavors and one?
Yeah,
Why
people
not?
do that.
You're
They-
filling to order.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Give me some custard. Give me a little chocolate. Give me a little roll of jelly.
I think we're bringing Matt back around. He eats healthy, so
That's
have you
kinda
had
like-
this fritter yet? You got to take one bite.
I will
Take a bite.
I will indulge. You guys are Cambodian, and Southeast Asia is filled with all types of exotic spices and hot stuff.
Yes.
Have you ever made like savory donuts where you put in like Southeast Asian spices or something?
Well,
We're getting to there. We're not really like with donuts. Like everybody does these crazy stuff, right? Like we go taste other people's donuts. Like you can make these crazy donuts with all these toppings on. Yeah, it tastes good as all that, but if you got a good base, you can make anything taste good with any topping. Like I want to go taste some other donuts. Like they don't have good bases, so they have to sprinkle all these things, make it look good.
Like to mask it.
To mask it, yeah. So if we got a good base, once we start doing that, adding those flavors, game over, buddies.
Yeah, but is that a thing? Are people going like?
yeah,
Max,
there
you
are
were
there are
saying-
savory, like for the apple fritters, for instance. Instead of putting apple and sugar on it, we can put cheese and jalapeno and make it more of a savory.
because isn't like durian the real stinky
Yeah.
fruit?
You just took that out of my mouth.
Oh,
That's what
yeah.
we're gonna do. That's why
That's a
I want
Cambodian-
a filled donut. I want to do
Southeast
that.
Asian
Yeah.
fruit, their favorite fruit.
And we want to do that as a filled option too, like a durian flavor. But durian, I don't know. I want to see because durian, like
I don't
they
like
ban them out of restaurants and stuff in Asia
Yeah.
because the smell is so it's a strong smell.
If you go to H Mart there in Cary, like they have them for sale, but they're like wrapped.
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
like, do not open this.
Oh
not
no,
here.
this smell is.
I still have never smelled the durian.
You don't want to.
No.
But it's what does
I
it smell like?
felt like a Maury when we walk in.
Imagine sour milk left out for weeks.
Oh God!
Yeah, it's
And so
awful.
you want to put that in your donuts? Yeah, sounds like a
No,
great idea.
but the fruit is
The fruit
unbelievable.
itself,
Yeah,
the flavor
yeah,
itself
yeah.
is kind of. It's
That's
not my.
the king of fruits over there.
Yeah,
It's the
It's not
king.
my cup of
that's
tea.
crazy.
Yeah, it's
So you
passion
have to
fruit.
close your nose while you eat it?
Yeah.
No, because once you cook it or once you extract
It's
the
just
fruit,
the
it's
casing.
great.
is
Yeah,
it's
it's
just-
essentially is
The
the-
raw process is the smelly part.
Yeah. Okay. You talked about the yeast is the key. Is that a yeast that you've cultivated? Is it a proprietary one? Do you use the same thing, or you just?
Yeah, it's a proprietary one that we use.
We played around with, used different ones, and
Yeah,
which
and-
one we like the best.
Yeah. the
And
one-
you use that same one now for
Yes.
everything. Okay. This is my collaborative brain thinking. Have you reached out, or have they reached out at Goose and the Monkey to brew a beer with your donut yeast?
We've actually
talked
done
about
it.
it.
We've actually done a collaboration with Bull City already.
Oh, okay.
But not with our yeast and donuts.
Not with the yeast donuts. We've done it with the cake donuts.
But
With the
Goose
cake
and Monkey, I spoke to one of the brewers. They said, let's do one. We haven't done it yet, but we talked about it.
Okay, because that would be like this is a donut beer or what?
Right,
or,
right. Well, we've done that, and we've had like I took one of their beers and I mixed it into one of our cake batters. Like it was like a strawberry based beverage. We mixed it into our cake donuts, and then we served it out to his customers out there. And
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it went pretty well, and the flavors was phenomenal.
Well, and we're in the front of Red Donuts right now. Like we're just in the dining room, and it's clearly busy. Like you're just having people coming through every 30 seconds. There's another person coming through the door and going through. But what is what's life like for you all here? Just like if Matt and I moved from LA to New York and then lived in Lexington, it would be a culture shock for us.
Right.
But it has to be an extreme culture shock for you. Now, David, you're from here, so this is all you know.
Yep.
But how does it life like? You're growing up in a very different land. How does that feel in this area?
Well, growing up, it felt weird for me because it was tough because, there was a lot of people like me around, so I had to learn to speak English. I don't know how to speak my own language, my parents' native language that well because I couldn't practice it much.
My last name's Trujillo, and I'm the worst Spanish speaker you'll meet. I'm really bad Mexican. Yeah.
I can understand our language, but speaking it, I'm not very fluent.
Yeah, and you have a southern drawl too,
Oh,
so
yeah.
that adds to the uniqueness of what's going on.
When I go to California and I go to New York, like up north and stuff, when I start speaking, everybody starts freaking out. Wow, you're the first Asian person that ever had a country accent.
Right.
Asian people say that to me. I'm sitting there like, really? I said I should work on how I say North Carolina. I say it sounds very country, North Carolina. So I kind of changed that part because anybody can say North Carolina and make itself sound country.
Yeah, if you put it like an F at North, then you're down, you got the accent North Carolina. Yeah, there you go.
But this is all I knew. We grew up, but Lexington is a small town, right?
Yeah.
When we went to school, like our school, high school, we had a lot of culture. We had Asian, Spanish, whites, and blacks. So we had multicultural festivals at our school. And then the city, they took it from what we did at the school, and they branched off and they created this multicultural festival
For the city.
just for the cities.
Yeah, and we were saying right before we officially started that you grew up, Robin, who's been taking us all around, you were just over at her house using the pool, hanging out, partying with her kids, is that right?
But we had a good neighborhood. That's
My kids didn't party. What's wrong with you?
Sure.
They did a good job.
She's
at
going to need to
cleaning.
leave for
We
5
did a-
minutes. You can tell us the truth.
Her dog cleans pretty well. She does pretty well. And her mom come home. No, we're just kidding. But no, we had a good neighborhood. We had a pretty good neighborhood. A bunch of kids running. It was the 80s. That's what it was about. Everybody played outside.
80, early 90s.
Yeah.
Everybody
all the
knew
good old
everybody.
days.
You know, the kids stayed outside until you yelled home, come in for dinner.
Yeah.
That's right. Or it was time to make the donuts.
Right. Time to make donuts. Yeah.
So, just production-wise, like how many donuts are you guys making in a day?
It all varies. It all depends on events during the month. Of course, holidays. But
Give us
on a
an
regular
average.
day,
Yeah.
on our average day, we'll probably put out 1,500 to 2,000 donuts.
No, that's on the busy day. But on the slower days, we would go a little bit like 8. Yeah, let's just say 1,000. There we go, about 1,000 donuts a day.
1,000
That's a
donuts
lot
a
of
day.
donuts.
And you're not having problems with how long does that? If you make a 1,000 donuts, can you sell them throughout that week?
No,
For the day.
For one day, that's it.
Yeah.
So how many donuts get thrown away? Are you selling throughout?
It all depends. Yeah, but we do have some waste that we sometimes donate as well. But
Okay.
But donuts, the materials, they're cheap, so you have the waste that you can afford to take. You have to take the chance,
Right,
You
you
can't
build
just
that
bake.
in.
You can't just bake a little bit and say, all right, I want this. I'll bake a certain amount. I said, for this cost, I could take the hit, because if people come and buy it all, it's a bigger profit. So,
Yeah,
but
And
I'll
clearly
take
they're
it.
not eating all the ones that are thrown away. These guys are, trim dudes right
Yeah.
here. Like, I'd
we had
expect
a
to see a big boy back there that
Right.
worked with the donuts, but
Well, the thing about that is we had City Fitness right behind us. It was a fitness center here.
oh yeah.
I thought about it. I said, I don't want to look like I own the donut shop. I want to own it, but I don't want to look like it. So I
They
said,
say
I'm gonna
never
work out.
trust a
So-
skinny chef,
Yeah.
so I don't know about that donut maker.
So you're hopping back to the fitness place when you're waiting that 30
Right.
minutes for the dough to rise?
But I'll go in there after I cook and I walk around with that smell, and then the people in the gym are like, I need to go get a donut.
Right. That's good marketing.
Yeah, it's good marketing.
That's subliminal marketing.
Yeah. You see all the time. I was getting tired of it. Everybody stopped by and be like, "Oh, you smell so good." And then they want to tell you their donut story. So I was like, "Man, I got to spray some cologne. I can't talk about. I only got 30 minutes to work out. We can't talk about donuts all the time."
So it's still a family operation, from what I understand. Did you reference your mother? Was that what you were saying? She's
Mother, father, brother. It's a real family operation.
That's really cool.
Family operation.
Your house is probably the most valuable asset you own. But think about it. How much time do you spend taking care of it day to day? Enter Exhale, where you get a dedicated home manager who takes the time to understand your home's unique needs and ensures cleaning, maintenance, and inspections are taken care of. And if you need help with repair or improvement, Exhale will handle that too. Visit exhaleathome.com to learn more and book a consultation. We'll take it from here.
Triangle Wine Company, locally owned and operated. Triangle Wine Company is committed to creating the best shopping experience in fine wine and craft beer.
Could you do, if you wanted to, a red donut shop too, or?
Oh yeah. We've been approached by a lot of people. It's all in the works, but I want to perfect this. Once this is perfected, like we can put it anywhere. Like we got people coming out from Raleigh, Charlotte, all over the place to come get it. But
So what does that mean?
What's not perfect?
Yeah. What is perfection?
what's perfection? Like the whole process. Like when you open up and you put someone somewhere else, like you got to have a process that somebody can go through. That you say, what's going on with this? You can teach. Because if you don't have that, you're just setting yourself up for failure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's funny. I feel like there's such a similar through line in Lexington with everything that we've talked about when it comes to barbecue and history and being generational and passed down, and like the focus on doing the craft and going from it. So it's like the way you approach your donut making doesn't sound very different than the guys doing barbecue just down the street. Yeah. And it's like, it's a process. You get up really early. You're doing it all day long. And it's usually a family business and all. But most of the barbecue guys shuddered at the thought of opening a second place. They're like, no, we're just going to stay here, here. So that would be a bold move then for you to guys to be able to expand and do multiple donut shops.
Well, I think that just maybe depends on who you're talking to. Like if you're talking to an entrepreneur that wants a little bit more money in his pocket like me, of course I'm gonna think that way. But I want more because we got a family operation. Yeah, this started. We're making a living off this, but we can't do the things that we really want to do. So we have to separate. Like this is gonna be his family. He's gonna take over this operation. I'm learning this process. So I get to pick where I want to go. I want to go to Raleigh. I want to go to Charlotte. That's going to be my area. I'll put my spot there.
Come to Raleigh.
Okay.
I thought about it. I got friends in Raleigh. I lived out there for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, now you know two more friends. You just made new friends.
Made two more new friends.
You're my friend because you make donuts.
Right. Yeah. Oh, and
Yeah. But my Raleigh is a serious consideration because I'm thinking about moving soon.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, should I go back to Charlotte area? Everybody's trying to pull me over, but Raleigh is really booming. I kind of might want to go back.
Number 2 best place to live in the world, or in the nation, that they said, just because some writer said that. But yeah, it's a pretty good place.
One question about donuts, and I have to ask, is my wife is gluten-free. Can you make a gluten-free donut?
Yes, we can. The cost is more cost of doing that. But as Lexington is a smaller town, I got to watch out where I can't be charging $5 a donut in a smaller town.
Right.
Raleigh, I could do that. But maybe it can in a few more, maybe in a year where things are going, I could do that too.
Yeah.
And I see vegan donuts are like a real craze right now.
Yep.
What is, so I assume there's no egg then in a vegan donut. So what do you replace that with? Is it aquafaba or?
It all depends. You got to be.
We have like when it comes, it's a lot of different ways when it comes little different how people do vegan. You got to go in depth. So I haven't really dug into people are buying our donuts now. Like people are happy. Like we're gonna get there. We're gonna take care of y'all people, the vegans and all that. But people just love the sweets the way they are right now.
Yeah.
And
you're also kind of like, well, look where you're at. You're at a donut shop. Come on, give me a break.
But we're gonna try, trust me.
And the name Red Donuts.
That's
the story.
That's the good story. Okay.
I heard.
So here's the whole quick synopsis of it. Well, when we first established our first building, we found this building. So it was an office building, and we had to tear that thing from scratch. So we signed the deed, we got that place, and then we were sitting there building it up. Me and my brother looking at each other, like, yeah, we're gonna open a business. Hey, what are we gonna name it? He was like, I don't know. So
I can continue
Okay,
this
now
part.
he's gonna take
So,
over.
Frank Calica is our landlord, which he is the city councilman too.
Okay.
So he knows everything about the city. He told us a little backstory. He said, this place used to be one of the first barbecue places around there selling like prohibition alcohol at that time. I said, no way. I said, that's pretty cool. He said it was Red Donut Shop. Me and brother
No,
looked
he
at
said
it.
it was the red.
The red pig.
The red pig.
And then me and my brother, we both looked at it. He said, red's our favorite color. It was like Red Donut Shop.
The Red Donut Shops.
Just
Cool.
to keep the history.
Yeah,
keep the history.
Pay
Like-
homage to the history of this building.
And we were coming up, we ain't have much money. He said, man, like that's a good story. People love stories. Like let's create that story so people come to us. Like people, if you
Just for the story.
just for the story.
Yeah. That's great.
That's
I
awesome.
love what you guys are doing. Seriously, we would love to see the expansion. We love on the show the entrepreneurial spirit and people coming in here and kind of doing their own thing and providing it. And that's, like the town of Lexington changed because you guys made donuts here. Like they could have potentially let a Dunkin' or a Winchell's or something come in, but this has so much more personality and charm, and you're members of the community, so that's a really cool thing to do. So that's you're part of what makes this town.
No, we're not. No, I don't want to take all the credit. Like this town made us. When we put it, it was so much. Like everybody came supported us. It was like we still get the support. Like the city, everybody from the top to the bottom. Like it's a blessing.
Yes.
Well, it just shows that like the craftsmanship, we see it in craft beer, but you guys are taking that approach to donuts in the sense that it's not like you just decided, I think a donut shop would be a good business idea, right? Like people need donuts. No, you guys are donut enthusiasts. Like you said, you trained in Iowa and all these places all over the country, and you guys are like truly aspiring to make the perfect donut experience. So.
Well, I was running donut shops. I was talking about actually running the business at 14. And I thought in my head when I was 14, I was like, man, if I can do this at 14, I was looking at the money, I was like, I said, this is pretty easy. I said, I'm gonna stick to doing this.
Yeah.
Because I looked at the way people were doing it. I was trying to tell them my ideas. Everybody's like, you're a little too young, son. Just do what we tell you. I was like, I got mad. I was taking notes everywhere I go. I was like, I'm gonna create my own one day. I said, so people could tell me what to do. Give my ideas. I got good ideas.
I'll show
and
you.
Here we are.
Right, that's awesome.
great.
When you were in California, what city were you living in?
We live in Ceres,
Modesto.
Ceres, California, right near Modesto, and that's.
Oh yeah, you were in the armpit of California. Yeah. That's not an awesome place. It's getting better, but
No, I still love California. My dream was always to go back one day, but I was like, man, when I go back, I need the money. But every time I prolong it, I say, you know what? I love North Carolina. I don't need to go back. I said,
That's
I like
right.
this
I
place.
feel the same way.
Yeah.
When I go back to California, it's nice, but I'm like, I can never live here now.
Yeah, that's what I said. I can't.
I priced
I can't
myself
live
out by
here
leaving.
Yeah.
I can
I love this
visit.
extra space.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for letting us inside to your business and your business here, your family life, and all telling us your stories. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I love your guys' story and your passion, what you're doing. So, hey, everybody, it's pretty much a no-brainer between the coffee, the donuts, the fritters, everything. Come to Lexington and check out Red Donut Shop. You will eat and drink extremely merrily.
Thanks for listening to the NC F&B podcast. And if you've stuck with us this long, review us on iTunes and remember, 5 stars are encouraged. Proof Alcohol Ice Cream. We pour art and science into every bite. An artisan ice cream company from Columbia, South Carolina. Proof is changing the way people think about dessert.